Okay, we bring you FitWit Wrapped 2024. It is here. This represents a number of metrics that we've tracked throughout the year. You know, you've got Mind Body that sorts number of classes and things like the classes that coaches have coached throughout the year and attendance. We've got clipboards and spreadsheets, and we used stopwatches. So, what I'm trying to tell you is this represents a full year of things that we tracked, and we hope you enjoy it. Let's start, shall we? The first total number of group classes that we ran in the gym in 2024, over 3,000, which is awesome because that represents a lot of work by these coaches and a lot of work by you guys, a lot of push presses and split squats and 20-second bike sprints, which is fantastic. So we are happy to raise that number from last year. Now, also, number of private sessions, which is the first year that it surpassed the number of group sessions that we taught. So over 3,500. Again, I think this just speaks to the fact that many of you have chosen to dive a little deeper with your goals and work with coaches on a one-on-one basis, and the results have kind of spoken for themselves over the last year, which has been great. Not only that, the results on your side, but for us as a business, it's been fantastic because this has really provided a career path for our coaches. In most gyms, it might be you teach a couple group classes and then you're gone, and maybe you come back later in the day. But what we've really done here is carved out a path where coaches can build their book of private or semi-private or specialty classes and really earn a bona fide career as a coach, which is something we're very proud of. Next. Okay, two, this is great because this represents a decrease from last year, from 4, and it's the number of times a coach overslept or forgot a class. One of these is actually me, which I am going to blame Stacy for because I thought we had this conversation in passing. She says, yeah, I confirmed that I'd be on the schedule. But I didn't realize that, so I did not show up, or I showed up halfway through this class one time. The other one we won't mention by name, just an initial, is SB, which she put the wrong calendar date on for one of these semi-privates not too long ago, and we missed that one too. So not too bad out of 3,000 plus classes that we've only done it twice this year, so hoping for a 0 next year. All right, days since the last incident. We did not make it very far in 2024. In fact, we only made it 2 days because the number 5 represents number of stitches needed on January 2nd. And that is to close this wound, which is one of our longtime members. She's been here probably for a decade. Nikki, she was training in a private session, so I get to blame Stacy again. This was on Stacy's watch. And I think it was a bar or one of the posts from the sleds may have rolled off and hit her. But I'll tell you what I did when I first heard about this. Obviously, the first thing that came to mind was making sure she had a liability waiver, which she did. So, and then of course she's okay, and the wound healed nicely, and she's great. She was a good sport. I gifted her a T-shirt last week. So if you get stitches in the gym, maybe that's the new protocol. You get a T-shirt. But yeah, it was great. It's probably not great for her, but the wound looks great now. She healed nicely. All right, what's next? Number 3 represents number of new staff members this year. Steven, who actually started as an intern in 2023. Now he's on board full time. Erica and Tiffany. So very happy about these 3 new additions to the team this year. What else? Number 1, I am thankful that this only happened one time because this is the number of emergency appendectomies while in England. And it was none other than your girl, Liz Beard, who had a little something funny in her tummy, and it escalated very quickly and found herself in the hospital. And in true Liz Beard fashion, that after the appendix got taken out, the doctor said, or the surgeon said, this is, fairly big deal. You cannot fly home for another 7 days, I think it was. And you know what Liz did? She was on a flight the next day because she had to get home. So, and I think she probably taught a class the very next day after that. So that's Liz Beard doing Liz Beard things. But thankfully, she's okay. All right. Number of new people to FitWit in 2024. This is kids, group classes, lit, private training. That number is 271. Again, very thankful for this because we don't do a lot of marketing. We don't do a lot of advertising around this. We really do rely on your word of mouth and spreading the word. And so on behalf of all the coaches and the trainers, the staff, we just say thank you because it really represents that you're seeing results and you like what we do and you're telling people about it. So thanks, y'all. Staying on that Fit Kids and YAD, our coaches are fantastic. We got Sandy Bell leads the crew as she's our youth coordinator, and Sam heads up our youth athletic development program, which has been fantastic. Jalen, Erica, Steven, both coaching all of those classes, YAD and Fit Kids. Brian does some Fit Kids some YAD training in the morning. So it's been again, another year of growth for us in the Fit Kids and YAD program. Now, this statistic is wild because it's purely coincidental that all three of these metrics equated to the same value, which I found stunning. Number of obstacle course DIY modifications that almost worked. Number of warped wall ascents. Number of times we told kids to get their stuff, but they forgot their stuff anyways. Over 14 million, y'all. So, working with kids, it's a joy. It's a pain and it's a joy, and we love it. Now, staying on the kids tip, this is an interesting request form from a parent. When we ask sort of for your child's goals, I don't know. I guess I was just a bit surprised that he led with this description. I've got 5 kids. I've been doing this for a long time. I love coaching kids. I love kids. But man, maybe the new wave of parents do things a little bit differently. Because he said, my daughter doesn't like to be bombarded by instructions and rules, so wondering if Fit Kids might be a good fit for her. Well, I said, sir, wonder no longer, because I don't think this will be a good fit for your feral child. I think the great outdoors might be the best bet. We got rules, we have instructions. Granted, maybe we don't bombard you, but yeah, you've got to come in, and when you're learning fitness, and we're doing games with 12 kids back there, got to have some ground rules. So, anyways, the kids coaches felt this was a pretty funny ask. All right, most attended time slot. 5:15 takes the 3rd spot this year, bumping out noon from last year. Then came 8:15. Which was last year's champion, and this year's champion is the 6 a.m. class. And for this statistic, we measured everybody in the gym at this hour. So it's not just the group class, and I think that's what puts 6 a.m. over the top, because normally 8:15 is probably just a wee bit more crowded than 6 a.m., but at 6 a.m. the gym is bustling with a couple different classes and semi-privates, and we've got a lot going on behind the curtain as well. Now, 0. Oh, well, this was a statistic that I really felt we would improve, but we did not. In fact, we matched last year's in this way. Number of days when every person in every class signed up in Mind Body before the class started. That's a 0. So, can we follow rules in 2025? That is my hope. Let's follow some rules. Please sign into class. Now, who is coaching these classes that you're not signing into? Well, in number 5, we've got Liz. She does a lot of classes. She does a lot of newbie classes every couple of weeks, and she also teaches a lot of noons. Got Ginger all across the board, including lit classes. Stacy, a number of these classes as well, mostly in the morning. You got Brian, an anchor of the morning crew. And then you got your champion, who was reigning champion last year, who basically teaches every day, including the Saturday mornings. None other than the King, Renell. Number 1, this is what is this one? This is the one that this is one that I know of. Doesn't mean it hasn't happened again, but this is the number of times an employee drank a beer in the office before a work shift. I know you were dying to know who did this, but a couple coaches were standing outside in the gym looking into the office a few months back and said, "Wow, is he drinking a beer? He crushed that beer. He certainly did, and he's got to go to work." And that employee was none other than Terry. If you don't know Terry, you should know him. He's awesome. He's part of our partnership we do with the L'Arche community, which is a group in a home down the street that serves adults with developmental or intellectual or physical disabilities. And I teach a free class for them every Friday afternoon at 2. It is really a highlight of my week and hilarious in a number of ways. And we also have hired Terry to work with us. And so Terry vacuums and he does some general cleaning in the gym a couple days a week. But on this particular day, he was getting after it. And so nothing wrong with that. I told Terry, let's just maybe next time wait until after your shift and to crack open a beer. But yeah, Terry is awesome. Terry could have been on this Wrapped slideshow several times. One in particular, we give out 1,000 class club shirts, right? We give these 1,000 class when you achieve that milestone. Well, in this last batch, I knew I had ordered enough. I thought I had several left before I had to order again, but it turns out we didn't. Particularly John Morris, I remember I had to tell him, "Hey man, we're short on shirts, and I've got to reorder." So I apologize for the delay. And really, apparel is a thing that I'm just terrible at. I generally, the sizes, the designs, shapes, whatever, I'm generally in my 20 years of doing this has not been a strong suit for me. But this time I really thought I had it. Anyways, 2 weeks later, and the L'Arche van rolls up, and the L'Arche crew gets out, and one of the helpers, Mary, is wearing a 1,000 Class Club shirt. And I said, "Mary, that's a great shirt. Where did you get that?" And she said, "Oh, Terry brought a bunch home for the house and passed them out to our crew." Which I said, "Oh, did he now? Is that what Terry did?" So, you can't really get too mad at Terry for that. He was in the giving spirit. So if you see the L'Arche crew wearing the 1,000 Class Club shirts, that's what happened. Anyways, that was great. Okay, what's next? 22 is number of social seminars, parties, workshops. So things like the dodgeball, the hikes, we just, Liz did a mobility fundraiser a couple weeks ago. We just did a soft tissue workshop. We had Dr. Jackie with us this year. So just some things outside of the gym class schedule and training sessions that we like to do to make it build a little more community and offer a little more education for you guys. So hope to up that number in 2025. Now this one, something that wasn't so great in 2024, number of giant floor bubbles, 6 of them. We had to fix after the AC went out. I rolled in here a weekend in the summer and it was sweltering in the gym because the air conditioning wasn't working and the floor did not like that. I know you remember this because it took us far too long to fix the floor and the bubbles. So don't look too closely at the floor. One day, I think we're going to get a whole new floor because we keep having to cut these things. But anyways, that's life sometimes, right? Okay, now we're getting into it. 3 represents the number of voicemails from people wanting help with their Fitbit. And this is, I will share with you the most entertaining story was from Doris, Doris left us a voicemail that said something like, "Yes, my Fitbit, I'm just curious if it can go in water because I take a water aerobics class and I don't want to damage it and I want to track all my stats, but anyways, I want to know if it can go in the pool. Please call me back." So I did not want Doris thinking, that Fitbit had terrible customer service, and I just was going to call her back and explain the mistaken identity. And so, and this is no lie. I'm telling you, this is true story. This is how that phone call went with Doris. I said, hey, Doris, this is Josh. I run a company called FitWit. I know you called Fitbit, but we're two totally different things. I run a gym in Decatur, Georgia. FitWit, Fitbit. I get it. The W, the B, it rhymes. It's confusing. But anyways, that is not who we are. And she says, oh, well, thank you for the phone call back. Yes, my question is about whether or not this can go in a pool because I have water aerobics class and I don't want to damage the watch and yada, yada, yada. I said, okay, Doris, I'm not sure if you heard anything about what I just said, but that is not us. That is Fitbit. Our company is FitWit. Fitbit is the fitness tracker. That's the watch you're wearing. FitWit, we have a gym. We do group classes and private training, and we do lit classes, which sounds like maybe lit might be the spot, the place that you might be in our gym. But anyways, Doris, that's my apologies, but we're two totally separate companies. And Doris goes, well, it's just a simple question. Is this water resistant or waterproof? I just need to know if I can take it in class. And I said, okay, what's the model number, Doris? And I said, I'll put you on a brief hold. And I Google searched this thing and came back with, look, Doris, hey, it says here you're good up to 30 feet. Unless you're going scuba diving, I think you are good to go. So if there's nothing else, I wish you a great day and thank you for calling Fitbit. So that's Doris. Now, I've got another one, and I've just got the voicemail transcript here. This guy was a little bit more, he was a little bit angrier than Doris was. And I'm just going to read the voicemail. I'll kind of skip down, but I put the text here. We just transcribed it. This guy said, hey man, I subscribed from you a couple years ago, still trying to go into my account and take money out of my account and charge me $1.99 for the transaction. If y'all don't unsubscribe me from that FitWit stuff, I'm going to the police. Because I told you I'd be following y'all. You're still trying to take $1 out of my account. I don't want your FitWit yoga instruction class. I don't know why y'all keep trying to charge me. So I'm going to press charges on you. So y'all better call me back at this and so we can resolve this. Because if you don't, I'm going straight to the police because you're trying to take money out and trying to steal money. And then he finished with, I might come down there. Well, two things. I certainly didn't want him to press charges. And second thing, I certainly didn't want him to come down here because after speaking to him, I learned he was from Detroit. And I thought that would have been a bit excessive for $1.99. So anyways, the phone call with him was great. It was not, he understood much quicker than Doris understood this mistaken identity, but he sent me a screenshot and sure enough, it was his credit card company. It was Fit With Yoga, $1.99, which I told him, I said, hey man, first clue, first red flag that this wasn't us. There ain't nothing $1.99 at FitWit, man. So you should have known. Now, the next this stays with phone calls, and this was wild. I could not believe that. I when Sarah was with the company, she did all the phone calls, and then when she left, I took it back, and I enjoy talking to folks, so I do all our sales calls now because I just need something to do, right? Anyways, I tracked this. This is wild. 483,211. You're not going to believe it, but it was the number of calls in 2024 pertaining to either perimenopause or regular menopause. I did not parse those two out. I just kind of clumped them together. But that's a lot of menopause, y'all. It was the year of menopause. And apparently we are a preferred provider of menopause training, which is great. Stacy wants to start this menopause mafia small group, which I think is good. But here's the thing, fellas, I'm learning a lot, and I implore you to learn alongside the ladies here. The research is just sort of burgeoning. It's been understudied field. Liz is taking a certification in this right now, so we're learning a lot. And what the funny thing is, all of these phone calls sounded exactly the same. It was like the ladies were reading from a script, and it was the same: protein, hormones, strength training, fasting, mood swings, insulin, weight gain, more protein. What worked in my 20s not working for me anymore. Brain fog, hot flashes, weighted backpacks, confused husband. So that was all part of the script. And I'm going to say, fellas, man, we got it good. We got it good. So just be there for your ladies if they're going through this, and learn alongside of us. All right? But these are your key words here. All right, now 214. This is the number you completed in the staff evaluation survey, which I think was great. You know, if you recall, it was the drop-down menu where you got to pick a coach and then offer specific feedback, some things that you wanted them to know or some things to work on. And man, like 95% of this was absolutely fantastic feedback. It was great. I mean, so much so it was like, dang, is this appropriate? You really, you guys really love our people. And then there were some things to work on, which you know, we addressed as a staff, and I think we'll continue to get better at. So thank you for completing the survey and helping us get better. And I shared, you know, I put my name in there because I thought, you know, maybe even though I don't coach classes, maybe you would want to offer some general feedback of some sort. And this was the best one, which I shared in an email this year. I thought, who is Josh Guerreri? Which I thought that was great. You know, nothing like he'd just take a hit to the ego a little bit. But again, most of the feedback was fantastic, but not all of it. This one here, which I would classify as most interesting feedback, man, they went in on it. New workouts, new music, some new staff. The 1-minute stuff doesn't do anything for anyone. Remember we did those 1-minute challenges for a while. This person did not like that at all. But, you know, man, it's like burn the gym down and start from scratch. But the thing is, you know, you ask for feedback, and that's the point, right? You can't get your feelings hurt when somebody gives you feedback that, you know, is not always glowing. That's what you ask for. So we're adults here. We understand that. The thing about this one, I was like, dang, man, I know I've seen this feedback before. I personally, and I was racking my brain, and then it dawned on me. You know, 2001, I moved to Atlanta to do a program called Teach for America, and I was a teacher for 6 years at Washington High School. And it was great. I loved it. I coached basketball and track and cross country and taught a variety of subjects and really loved it. It was great. This was right before I started FitWit. But the first year was not great. The first year is tough, man. It's tough for any new teacher. The environment was new to me. If you know anything about Washington High School, fantastic school in the west side of Atlanta. But and they just kind of throw you in. I had all 9th grade classes, all general pop classes, and it was my class roster. I kid you not. I had classes of 32, 35, and I had one that was 43 kids, 32 desks, and these jokers showed up every day. So there was nobody took a day off. So man, it was a wild first year. I was on the 4th floor, so you are the furthest thing from help. There is no one with a walkie-talkie anywhere near you. I was in the corner there with Mr. Shivers. So we were battling every day. But that first year I made what, looking back on it, was a grave error, and something that any teacher will tell you, you should have never done this, because I put a comment box in my classroom because I thought maybe, you know, hey, I could open up some dialogue here and maybe see what these guys think. But, you know, first rule of teaching is never ask the students for their feedback. But I did, and I got the first one that I pulled out of this comment box. I remember it, and I've saved this. This is what, 23 years later, in a keepsake box of mine, and this is what it said. So when I tell you that I'm used to this type of feedback, bringing the story back. This is it. This is what I'm talking about. Funny thing is, I was the only class or the only staff person in this classroom, so I am left to assume that this young scholar could only be talking about me in this scenario. So, anyways, I'm used to it, and it has prepared me for future staff evaluation surveys. All right, now, staying on that staff, we work very hard to find the best people out there, but sometimes it takes a little sorting to get through. We saw 76 number of resumes this year, and you are lucky because I've got 2 of them that I found to be the most interesting. Now, this first one, I'm going to ask you not to read ahead, because there's a lot to see here, and I know you're gonna want to move down, but stay with me. It's just a snippet of the resume. We'll start from the top. First thing, elite trainer, which appears to expire in February 2026, but in the next line, this person is going to tell me it does not expire. It do not expire, in fact. Now, next line, they are a certified master trainer. They got that certification as well, also appearing to expire in December 2026. However, in the very next line, they tell me it does not expire, and they're even more emphatic about this because he uses 4 exclamation points to tell me this. So, getting a little confused, but I'm moving on. The next line is something that I wasn't aware that I needed in a personal trainer or fitness coach, and that is secret clearance. I have no clue what this is referring to, but maybe I need it. Anyways, I keep going. Lest I think that secret clearance was enough, I find this individual has top secret clearance. Which was something, again, I was unaware that you could hold both secret and top secret clearance. Or maybe I didn't, maybe I thought it was a progression, like you got one and the other, and maybe you should have only just put the most recent. I don't know. I'm not sure how resumes work with secret and top secret clearance. But anyways, he's got both, and I'm kind of regretting I didn't follow up to figure out what that actually meant. And then finally, threw in there that he's got a food handler certification. So in case we need, change out the fries or something, this is our guy. All right, he did not make the cut. I'm going to let you know right now. Now, next one in the most interesting resume. This is part 2, or second most. Again, I've been out of the resume game myself for, 20 years. So I don't know. Maybe this is something people started doing by including fun facts on their resumes. There was a guy, I remember maybe 8 or 10 years ago, he put his shoe size on the resume, which I thought was a curious decision. He's size 13, if you're interested. So same shoe size as me. Maybe that could have been advantageous, I suppose. Anyways, but this person, this fun fact left me with more questions than answers, because he said, I beat an Asian man at a chopstick contest. So I don't even have a joke for this one. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to do with that one, but fun facts on resumes. Now, you get past that resume and you get some questions for us, like an application questions. And one of these, this was interesting, was what do you do for fun? Sometimes I just throw that on there. This guy said, I also enjoy checking out farmers market and vibing with vegetables. Again, I don't know. Am I getting old? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. Because I really don't know what this means. Maybe he just likes cooking with vegetables. And now, so they get past this, and our process is we bring them into an interview. And that starts with you take the class to make sure you still like you like what we're doing at FitWit, and before you actually decide if you want to work here, you take a class, and then we bring you in for an interview. And thankfully, this only happened one time, because this represents the number of trainers we interviewed who took off his shoes during the interview and started stretching. Again, an odd choice for an interview, mid-interview, and Stacy was in there with me. I don't know what, I really don't know. He was in the middle of answering a question. He kind of got down in a couch stretch, and it was bizarre. And I'm pretty tolerant with stuff like this, but I think I've got to draw the line at removing apparel and such during the interview process. So anyways, we learned a lot in sorting resumes and interviewing folks this year. Now, last two slides both represented big increases from last year, one for the good, one for the bad. This first one, boy, we tracked a ton of minutes, 112,523. Our coaches did a fantastic job of tracking this year. They really did. They worked their butts off. But unfortunately, this represents about 40,000 more minutes than it did last year, because this is the time spent by trainers repeating workout instructions because you're talking to your FitWit bestie. True story. Come on now, 8:15. You continue to dominate in this category. But we're not going to end FitWit Wrapped there. We're going to end on a high note, which is another super increase. 23 million, over 23 million. Number of high fives or fist bumps distributed in the gym this year. Lots to celebrate. Your boy Brian Daniels leads the league again in fist bumps. Man, woman, or child will not escape the gym without a Brian Daniels fist bump. So anyways, great year in the gym. We thank you. That concludes our FitWit Wrapped 2024. Thanks so much for listening.